The iPad is a very hit or miss device. Sometimes you'll buy it and get tons of use out of it. It might even become a daily driver, and sometimes it just gathers dust on the shelf until you have kids and you need it for Cocomelon. In this video, we're going to be looking at how I actually made the iPad Pro useful for myself in my day-to-day life, how I use it for productivity, what apps I use exactly, as well as how I organize my life with it. We're going to be looking at the brand new iPad Pro M5 and 13-inch, but we will also compare it to the different sizes and the different models, tell you what specs you should get, how good the battery life is, what accessories I recommend, and finally how I was able to replace my MacBook Air with the iPad Pro. Let's get into it. So I sometimes like using the iPad to play my news and stuff for the day, or even entertainment as I get ready, so I'll just usually place it on like the table while I'm doing my thing. The speakers are on both sides, so you get full stereo audio, and the screen is nice and big so I can see it from a distance. You don't even need like a portable speaker, which is what I used to use before. Okay, I want to quickly talk about the different sizing of the iPad Pros because they each have their pros and cons, and I've actually personally used all three sizes for several years now. First off, we have the iPad mini. Right now, this is a solid iPad, probably one of my favorite sizes of all times. And I love this because I could one-handed use it like this. And the biggest pros, you could use it in the bathroom. I'm just kidding, okay. The pocketability and portability, you get the idea. But the biggest issue with this is, one, I couldn't use this as a primary productive device because keyboard experience and stuff on this is like kind of non-existent. And also, the ProMotion display. Guys, like I cannot stand how jittery this looks. Now, you guys might be like, hey, it doesn't really matter, whatever, but like, man, I can't do it. 120 Hertz ProMotion is now on all of my devices, and going to this feels like I'm using a device from like 1992. Like, I just can't do it. Okay, so moving up in the ranks, now we have the iPad Pro, which is the 11-inch. Now, this is probably my favorite device of the last year. I was using this primarily a lot for my on-the-go productivity and stuff. This is perfect. Like, you can barely just kind of one-handed use it, but it's still really good and portable enough for you to use it like this, like an actual tablet, and also throw on a keyboard, throw on a case, use it in a plane, use it in the car while your wife's shopping inside and you're doing more productive stuff sitting there, right? But then this year I decided to go upsize again, and I went with the 13-inch M5 iPad Pro. Now, this guy is a chonker, okay? It is big, but surprisingly, it doesn't feel like it's unusable or anything like that. I could still use it holding this. Just look how thin this thing is. And honestly, holding something this big, like a screen, it kind of makes you marvel at like how far technology has come, because this thing just feels incredible to use. Productivity on this goes hard. All of it is in such a nice big screen here. It's just a pleasure to use. Plus, of course, if you pair it with like a keyboard and everything like that, the typing experience on this is fantastic as well. So I've been kind of liking this upgrade to a 13-inch iPad Pro. But yeah, let's head on over. We're gonna go grab breakfast. I'm gonna head to the studio so we can actually compare these a little bit better and move on with the day. Man, today we kind of started off really late, so I'm a little bit behind on my day, but better late than never, right? So I'm just grabbing all my stuff. I also gotta get some quick filming and stuff like that done because yeah, we have to head out today, so. Breakfast time. If the family's around, I usually like to eat with the wife and kids, but today they are already moved on with their day. They're doing homeschooling, so I like to use the opportunity then to get myself up to speed on the day's tasks. I usually like checking what's on my calendar, what's coming up, just so I'm prepared. I like organizing my to-do list so I know what's happening for the rest of the day and for the rest of the week. So this is actually my home screen setup for the iPad Pro, and I use this so that I can quickly jump into the key information and the key apps that I usually use the most on the iPad. So down here over to the right, I have all my investments and everything, so I can take a quick glance at it and see how much money I've lost for the day, which is always exciting. And I actually love the Apple Stocks app because this thing is so user friendly and it has all the information that I could possibly need, because I can go check out all of my stocks and drill into any of them just to see the news for the day, so that I can kind of correlate what's happening and why. For my email, I absolutely swear by Superhuman Email. This thing has absolutely changed the way that I handle my emails. And as for my to-do list, I use a mix of different apps. So I use the Apple Reminders app for more time-based or time-sensitive reminders. And for my daily planning and weekly planning, I use Todoist. I just love how this weekly view kind of lays everything out for the rest of the week. That being said, it's now time to get to work. Okay, so we have the iPad Pro and the MacBook Air. Can you actually replace your laptop with an iPad Pro? I've had pretty much every single iPad that's released since its conception, and every single time that I've tried to replace my MacBook with like an iPad, I've just not been able to. And I've always used it kind of like an accessory device, so I'll use it on top of a laptop, but to completely replace it was tough. But that's because I actually do a lot of my stuff on Final Cut Pro. So if I wasn't making like full out like movies and stuff like that, or editing at such a intense level, I think the iPad could have actually potentially replaced my laptop, because if you're editing on like CapCut or even Final Cut Mobile, you can still get a lot done with the iPad. But one thing to note here, ever since I got this 13-inch iPad Pro, I don't know, it kind of makes me wonder, does it make sense? Because an iPad is supposed to be like super thin and light, but this one is pretty much the same as the MacBook Air. So if you are gonna throw a keyboard onto this thing, that's something that you might wanna keep in mind, because it no longer becomes as portable and light as an iPad traditionally is supposed to be. But there's one thing that I wanted to talk about now, talking about laptops in general, is the fact that iPads have gotten so expensive, especially if you're looking at the Pro models these days. So let's say you walk in the store and you're like, I wanna buy an iPad Pro. And the base model iPad Pro 11-inch, you're looking at $999 USD for the base spec, just to entry level, just get through the door. And then if you wanted to jump to the 13-inch model that I have here, you're looking at an extra $300 at $1,299. Now jumping to the 16 gig RAM options, you have to go with their 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte options, which you're looking at now $1,899. That's $600 more just to get more RAM and more storage. Okay, so let's actually go ahead and build this out and see the damage right now. So let's say we decide to go with the 13-inch model. We're going with space black. Let's keep the 1 terabyte storage, and we're gonna opt for that nano texture option here because we want that nice premium look and feel. Now, something to keep in mind here. So the iPad that I have is the nano texture model. I absolutely love it. And I'll talk a little bit more about this when we're outside and we're heading to the event. But between Wi-Fi and cellular, let's say you're going for Wi-Fi, although I would highly recommend the Wi-Fi plus cellular. There's an argument, like my iPads are always cellular because I actually share my data plan with my phone with my iPad, and I found that to be a game changer. If you're working on the go a lot, highly recommend that cellular. So now let's say you've built it out exactly the way I would ideally like to build it out. Now you have the Wi-Fi plus cellular, you're looking at $2,200 for an iPad. So the iPad definitely does have a pricing problem here, but let's take it a little bit further, okay? This is what I mean by an accessory problem. So let's say you do want to be able to use the iPad for all of those extra things, in which case you now need an Apple Pencil, but let's go with the Apple Pencil Pro because you are getting the iPad Pro. That's another $130. Now, let's say you want the Magic Keyboard. That is another $350 USD. So let's go ahead and add that in. Without any trade-ins, without any Apple Care coverage, you, my friend, are looking at a total payment of $2,600 $2,777, almost $2,700 That is basically like car payments for a lot of people for like half the year. Okay, so that's a lot of money. But that's where the sponsor of today's video comes in. This is a company called ESR. Now this case is almost 5 times cheaper than the Apple Magic Keyboard for even more protection and even more function. You firstly get this really nice hinge here, or kickstand. The keyboard as well is pretty good. The trackpad works really well, but the kicker is you can actually detach it from the keyboard, because you kind of don't need the keyboard at all times, but your iPad is still protected and you can still use in your landscape mode or even in portrait mode. Now, if you are not a keyboard person, they have another option for you guys. This is called the ESR Shift Magnetic Stand. So again, it's kind of like a folio, but you also have, like, if you're just taking tablet mode, you're still protected, but you can go ahead, throw it in the folio, and now you're like fully protected and covered. But my favorite feature for this, you can basically go ahead and take your iPad and attach it higher. This is like a game changer, because now this is at eye level. And of course, both cases come with their own Apple Pencil storage area here. And to tie it all out, you probably want to throw a screen protector on your iPad as well. They make it super easy and it's quite cheap. You literally just throw your iPad in here and go ahead, close it, and when you pull this, it's gonna apply your screen protector. So the value for money here goes hard. Highly recommend ESR. I'm gonna have these again linked down below. Okay, so another really cool thing with this iPad, if you film content at all and you have Sony cameras, there's this like app here called Monitor and Control. Let's say if I have like multiple cameras, like there's one filming me right now, there's one I have on top down over here, I can just go ahead and connect both of these cameras. I can have multiple streams. I can actually dial in my settings, my iris or my ISO or anything I could. This is actually kind of trippy. The larger 13-inch iPad is like perfect for this. Also look, having this super big screen is really nice, because I was able to literally just pop the iPad off the Magic Keyboard at any time I want, and then I have this nice minimal tablet in my hand. And I like using the iPad like this generally when I'm pacing around the office, trying to plan for something or going through any documents. This is an absolute joy to use. I really sometimes think how incredible tech has gotten. Like, it's quite surreal to me at how thin and light of a slab of glass with incredible quality I'm actually holding, that has one of the most advanced chips, the M5 chip inside. Like, what? How insane is that? And using the iPad to go through documents, mark up documents with a pencil and everything is just so super convenient. But in any case, now I gotta go. We're already late for the Asus event, so I'm gonna go ahead and call the Uber, and we're just gonna quickly pack up and we'll talk about more of this on the go. This is so meta, because I'm actually just using this iPad to refer to my notes for this iPad video. I love how, like, even all of my like notes and everything, this big screen makes a huge difference. I'm kind of starting to fall in love with this whole 13-inch. So even as I use this iPad right now in this situation, it kind of reminds me why this device is so good at what it does, especially if you're like a student or even for everyday use case. Like 90% of the people are doing what with their devices. They're watching content on it, browsing the internet, taking notes, using it for productivity and stuff like that. The iPad can do pretty much all of that, and it can do it in a very stellar way. I think the flexibility is really what you're paying for here compared to like a laptop or anything else. Also, that brings me to the biggest advantage with this, which is battery life. Now, this thing I've been using all morning, and look at the battery life right now, 94%. There's a lot happening here, but still for it to be at 94%, I mean, that's really good. Now, one thing that a lot of people do ask me about is the Nano Texture display. I got it on my M4 iPad last year, and I swear by it now. I would have appreciated if they did make it available at like 2256 as well as 512, but honestly, worth every penny. Okay, the writing, typing, even viewing experience on this is so much better with Nano Texture. If you can, I would definitely recommend splurging for that particular feature. But in any case, now we're just about to get into downtown, so excited to go check out this Asus event, and see you guys there. So we're here at this Korean barbecue place, and yes, they do have halal, by the way. So freaking good. So we're gonna continue the vlog soon. I might have to delay everything to tomorrow, potentially.
What do you vlog with singing?
Alright. Just got back from the Asus event. I absolutely love Asus as a brand. These guys are always super nice, super kind. Okay, iPad, honestly, this thing was like a game, like saved my life on like the Uber rides. On the way back, there was like a snowstorm, so it was like an hour and a half long drive back home. Look at the battery life here. 77%. Dude, that is actually insane. And I was using it the whole time, like while I was going there and coming back. I think the iPad is like a very much of a device that initially when you look at it, you're like, do I even need this in my life? But having it in your life does improve the quality of your life quite a bit. I'm gonna head back home right now. I think my family's just on the way back. They just finished jiu-jitsu classes. So gonna go meet up with them and hopefully relax for a bit. It's been a long day. And look, at the end of the day, you can always pull out the iPad Pro and use it as an entertainment device, right? Now, this is probably where this big screen really shines a lot, right? So even like watching YouTube on this, Netflix on this, everything just looks so good. And that's another huge way of how I use my iPads. Whether I'm kicking back in the couch or lying down in bed, this thing actually always comes clutch for entertainment as well. And now with the Instagram app on this as well, you can just doom scroll all you want on your iPad in a nice big full screen sort of setup. So you always have that. Okay, one of the best hacks. I'm 4 kids deep right now, and I've been using this app literally instead of like monitors. I've not bought any kids monitors, like baby monitors at all. Let me show you what it is. It's basically this app called Baby Monitor. You can select this as the baby unit, and then I can use this to monitor my kid with any other Apple device. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. Okay, and then all I gotta do is open up the app, recognizes it right away. You jump in and boom, you can use it to talk to the kid, play music, you can shine light, but this is like a huge hack. I use my iPad for this like pretty much every single night. Okay, so let's conclude on this laptop. Okay, it's the next day. I just wanted to kind of just talk about my actual experiences using this iPad and how much I think it's kind of become like a part of my life. I'm using this for my notes. I'm using this for, planning my calendar. I'm using this for my investments. I'm using this for all sorts of things that I can think of. And having such a big screen like this that I can just literally just hold in my hand still kind of feels a little bit surreal to me at all times. It's a great device, but yeah, it is getting up there in terms of price. So that's something that you should probably consider. But would I recommend it? I think so. I think heck yeah, I would. My only thing to you would be, I don't know if you need the brand new M5 version. Like this is the M4 version, and this thing still works just fine for me. Also, the smaller screen size is definitely much more manageable, but I will tell you guys, after using the larger screen size, I'm actually starting to enjoy the larger size, okay? This year, though, I've literally maximized everything. So last year was my year of going minimal on everything. So I had the smaller iPhone 16 Pro. I had the smaller iPad Pro. I got the smaller 14-inch MacBook Pro. Even my vlogging camera, I went with the smaller Sony a7C II. So I literally just started to downsize everything. This year is the year of maximalism for me, okay? So ending 2025, getting into 2026, we're doing it big, okay? We're literally going maximalist on everything. I went with a bigger iPad Pro, went with a bigger iPhone 17 Pro Max. I also did a dual monitor upgrade. Now I have 2 monitors back there rather than 1. In any case, I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any specific questions or anything like that about any of these products, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. If you got this far, I really appreciate you guys sticking along. Drop a hashtag to the max and that way I know who the real ones are. I will see you guys in the comments, or I will see you guys in one of these two videos. Until the next one, take care, stay blessed, peace.